If you have a Mercedes GLS 450 and your AC is no longer working and you've diagnosed or you're confident that it's the compressor, it's an easy job to do yourself, or at least the bulk of it yourself, and save a lot of money. And we're going to do that right now. The first step is to go to your engine compartment and remove the top plastic cover and the air intake duct that's on the right hand side. Once you do that, you'll have decent access to the top side of the compressor and to this pipe that goes down to the intercooler. You need a 14mm socket for this tensioner pulley. It's right down in here. Not a lot of clearance between that and the back of this intercooler, so you'll have to either finagle with a shallow socket or a serpentine belt tool that fits in there. Once the belt is off, there's this aluminum pipe that goes down to the intercooler, and it's bracketed onto the AC compressor, so that has to come out. And you start with the clip that's at the top. It's a little bit hard to get to, but if you look here, there's an eTorx bolt head. You're going to want to use an extension to get down into there. Once you undo that, it's just this little E-clip kind of a thing comes off the top of that pipe. Now I have a lift which makes this really easy, but you can do this with ramps, are actually perfect for it, or jacks, as long as you use those jack pads so you don't mar up your jacking points. I'll put a link to the lift below and I'll do a video on that soon. Anyway, there's two splash panels underneath the car over here in the front, a larger one kind of where the oil pan is, and then this small one up front. They're all 8mm bolts. Once you have both of those off, you have huge access to the bottom of this AC compressor, and this is where it's going to come out from. There's three eTorx bolts that hold this compressor in it, and I started taking off from underneath first. This bolt that goes in, also there's a bracket attached to it that is connected to that down pipe. So once you take this out, you'll have, and also a ground cable. So you could just leave it to the side. Next, also from underneath, you can take the top bolt out. You could probably reach it from the top of the vehicle as well, but since you're down here and it's accessible, you can use a ratchet with a little universal swivel on it, and you can back that right out. While you're down there, use a flathead screwdriver to loosen up this hose clamp and just wiggle this down tube out, this down pipe out, just a little bit from this connector. Take a rag and wipe that up so you don't drip anything there if you have oil in there like me. You come back up top, and then just a little bit of muscle you need to get that pipe out of there, but you could take that completely out of the way. Now you have access to the top of the compressor and the two lines that go into it. Next, you need a flathead or a pick to get this wire harness. And now, there's a little hard plastic clip. You need to push down on that and unlock it first. And you'll see that it'll pop out and move backwards. And then that same clip, you're going to use that push down on it, and you're able to undo this harness. Pay attention to that harness, by the way. There's a big mistake I made here when I did this the first time, and it had to do with the wrong unit for the vehicle, and you can only really tell by looking at that harness, and we'll go back to that later. But with that off, there's only one bolt holding this entire assembly in, and of course the two lines. So at this point, you want to make sure that your lines are, that you have no refrigerant in your system. To do that the right way, you should have a machine to pull all this out and capture it. If you don't, if somehow it leaked out mysteriously like mine, then you can just move on. But you're going to want to make sure you have no pressure and no refrigerant in these lines. But it's a Torx head bolt, and you want to back those out. They're not torqued down hard at all. And you might have a little bit of a pressure in there when you take this out. Move that to the side. The back one is a little bit harder to get to. What I did here was actually remove that last bolt so that I could move the entire compressor over to the side a little bit, and it gave me a better angle for that. I found actually later on that if you purchase this Amazon one, it comes with a tool. I would never thought, and it made the job easier. So going back in, I was able at least to put the compressor back in place first, and then in the lines afterward. Whatever you do, you don't want to just have that compressor completely hanging by those lines. So if you do take it off first and move it like I did, just make sure you rest it on top of something and it's not putting any kind of stress on those lines. That last bolt, the one at the rear of the compressor, is difficult to get there. I found easiest to do it from underneath. You're going to have to just do this by feel. Get your fingers and your hand back there, feel it out, find where the bolt head is, get your Torx socket on there and back it out. And once it's backed out a little bit, you're able to hold the compressor up with one hand and back the bolt out by hand. But once you get these two lines out, you set them to the side, out of the way. Just move those lines out of the way and make sure you don't get anything in there. I put a little piece of paper towel to cover up the lines while I was working, just to make sure nothing got in. The compressor, I purchased it off of Amazon. I'll put a link to it below. Keep in mind, there are two compressors for this same model vehicle, and that's the mistake I made. There's a compressor with a magnetic clutch and without a magnetic clutch, and the only way to tell is they'll have a 3-wire harness versus a 2-wire harness. Make sure you get the right one first, because if you're like me, you're doing this job twice. With the compressor unmounted and completely disconnected, it comes out very easily from this from underneath, and the new one's going to just go back the same way, and you'll just do this entire process in reverse. Compressor is plugged and it comes like that, and you don't want to undo these until the very last minute, until you're ready to attach those lines, because the compressor is pre-filled with the PAG oil that you need. And this little tool here, this little right angle, almost like an Allen key, but it's a Torx, it actually allowed me to get in there and put that back one on easily with the compressor fully mounted. And then the front one is easy to get to. The compressor also will come with new O-rings, so you want to replace those. Take the old ones out. Here it's more like a washer with rubber, like a bushing on it, but you take the old one out, I clean off that mating surface. Then you're going to want to just put a little bit of PAG oil on here, lubricate that O-ring, lubricate that here, and then it'll make a good seal when you put it back on. Don't forget, this downpipe has a bracket on it that has to get mounted to both the top and lower bolts on the front side of that compressor. So what I did when I was doing this work here, I put the rear bolt in, the compressor rear bolt in, and temporarily one of the other bolts, just to have it in place so that I could attach the lines. You come back in, you put this pipe back into place, make sure it's fully seated into the upper tube, and then you're going to want to back out one of those bolts you put in temporarily, put it through the brackets, and make sure you secure that AC compressor well. After that, you're going to come back up top, take that E-clip, or it's like a retaining clip they call it, and it has to slide over this flange. Basically, you slide it over the flange because that's the top end of that tube, and then when you bolt it down, it doesn't allow the tube to slide back out, and there's an O-ring up here to seal it. You go back down bottom, and you wiggle it into the bottom connector, which is basically just have a hose clamp there. So at this point, the job is pretty much done. And if you want to have this done 100% correctly, this is where you'll bring your car into a shop for them to do a vacuum test and to fill, use the right machines to fill this system with the precise amount of refrigerant. If you want a full-on DIY, just a few tools you'll need. Stay here with me and we'll get that done. So from here, you'll need a manifold set and a small vacuum pump. Both are pretty inexpensive. I'll put the links below. You can get them easily from Amazon. What you're going to want to do is you want to set this manifold set up on both your high pressure and low pressure sides of your system, and you're going to want to run the vacuum to see if it can hold vacuum, if it can hold zero pressure. So basically you put this on, you open both sides, you'll connect it to the vacuum pump, and you'll run it. Run it for about 25, maybe 30 minutes. You see here with both sides open and the vacuum running, there's a negative 30 psi on the low side, and it's a 0 on the high side. We're going to want to run that, and the idea is to make sure that we don't have any air going back into the system. So after 30 minutes, we'll shut this down, and we'll wait another 30 minutes to see if these gauges stay where they are. So it's been 30 minutes, and you'll see these gauges are still locked in with negative pressure. That means we don't have any leaks in our system, and the O-rings we just put in are sealing well. Once again, we're at a point where if you want this done 100% correctly, you'll bring it into a shop where they can fill the system with the precise amount of refrigerant. I'm going to tackle it myself, and I gave it a shot with measuring the weight of the cans and then deducting how much refrigerant goes in as I go along to try to get to that number. It didn't really work out well for me, so I went to just going by pressure. Not the optimal way, but it does work. And basically what you're going to want to do is leave your gauges connected, your manifold connected. Make sure your high side is closed, open your low side, crack open the can slowly, and start to let the refrigerant fill. You'll see it going to this little clear glass window in the middle of the manifold. You can see it flowing. You're going to want to hold the can upright and tip it to the right periodically as you watch the pressure build and you watch the refrigerant flow through this little glass window. Remember, the car has to be on and running and the AC on full blast for this to work, but you'll see the pressure start to build up, and as it does, you'll hear and you'll see the compressor click on. Good job, it's working. Now for me, I took a look at just a generic ambient temperature pressure chart to kind of know where I want it to be. I built up till I got to those pressures and locked it in. I checked, and I had ice cold air again. I like making these videos to show how easy it is to do some of these things on your own, and of course, to save a ton of money while doing it. I put links below to the items I've used or some of the tools I've used, and if you use my links, I will earn a whole 17 cents.